The YouTube thumbnail game is on, and I'm your host CGR back with another episode. I am a YouTube thumbnail designer and I design YouTube thumbnails and my life. I am here to learn and talk about one of the most interesting and important things in the YouTube business, the thumbnail. So today is the episode number 20, and we will talk about a 500k views thumbnail versus a 500 views thumbnail. I will not talk about millions of views yet because I have not achieved it with any thumbnail or just say video for any of the client, but I have crossed 500k a few times. So we'll be talking about that versus a 500 views, which I used to get when I started this job. Like getting a few thousand views is very easy, but regardless, we will talk about 500k thumbnails versus 500 views thumbnails, like without K. So the views matter. First of all, I will emphasize that CTR is okay, that's a way to judge, but views is the game because you get paid on views. The client is happy on the views. Everything is related to views. Yes, you cannot manage the views directly. In most of the cases, you need a good title, you need a video that is in demand, you need a good video that people watch so that YouTube will recommend it to more people. But there is so much still in yes, and after this update, for the first 10 seconds are viewable, so people will they will know what you need to make. But still there is so much power in your hand. There are many instances where a thumbnail alone, like that video was not extraordinary, that title was not extraordinary, it was just common thing, but the thumbnail alone has, like 2 days ago on one of my thumbnails, the first top most popular comment was that the thumbnail pic is wild as fuck. So yeah, you can, like in life, there is most of things are not in our control. Most of the things are not in our control. There are so much things, there are so many variables, there are so many genetics, there are so much baggage, there's so much things that already has happened till you were conscious. But still there is so much in our hands that we can control and we can change if we put in enough effort, if we try our best, if we just try a little harder. So there is something in your control, there is something in your hand that you can do. If as a thumbnail designer, it's your job that even if it's a shit video, you will do your best to get the views, get the click. Because if no one is discovering, even if it's a great video, then say the next video is really great, if no one discovers it, there is no point. If no one stops the scroll of the person, then there is no point. I think we can do it, and you can do it. I will do it. I will try my best to do it. That's next point. Script. You need to read the script. Yes, you need to know what the script is gonna convey, so that thumbnail is not too apart from what the video is gonna convey. Because if it's too apart from the video that is conveying, that is clickbait, after a point in time, the thumbnail alone will not propagate the greatest thumbnails will not propagate the video alone. It will not get the views alone. You need to see what the script is around, so that even a little bit, like I'm not saying that it should be 100% around the script, but it should have some element of truth, some element of what it is, even in a clickbait niche. Yeah, the promise. The thumbnail must promise what the video is gonna deliver. Like after reading the script, we understand what is gonna happen in the video, kind of. We get the idea of what's gonna happen, what viewers may be able to get. According to that, we make the promise in the thumbnail. Of course, it has to be exaggerated, but yes, it has to be made. New idea. The next point is new idea. So I have often said, and I still believe that initially when we start, we need to find things that work and then use those things to make our thumbnails or make our designs, or even in copywriting, you write copy on what already works in the market. According to that, initially we do not have the expertise, etc., to test out things and experiment everything on our own. We need to see what already works and do according to that. But we need to see the techniques that work. Like that. Generally, I feel that we should bring some kind of nuance to what already is working and try at least to improve it, because the first person that came up with that greatest idea, that great idea that made millions of views, the first person to come up with that is the one who made the most money out of it, is the one who got the most views out of it in generally. That is the person who will get the most views, will get the most benefit. The second one will get less, and third one will get lesser. So use the proven techniques. Like you have to understand the techniques around it and then try to come up with a nuance if you want to get 500k views on a video. Strong text. The text must always be very, very concise, precise, and strong, and convey the message as best as possible. Like it's a copywriting thing, but as a YouTube thumbnail designer, we also need to understand copywriting and how using a few words we can get the click. The picture must stop and often get the click itself, and the text must help getting the click. Strong idea. When you will read the script and try to make the thumbnail out of it, think of the idea. There will be many angles you can go towards to make that thumbnail. But we should choose the idea that is most strongest in a way that it triggers our emotions the most. Like if the person is just lying, maybe it will not convey a very strong response emotion. But if the person is lying and is surrounded by, say, policemen, then what is happening there? Maybe that is more emotional. It was just a normal example. But yeah, if this person is just sitting in a hospital, maybe or may not be, it will very emotional. But if a person is sitting like this on a wheelchair in a hospital surrounded by policemen, that is gonna get views. And that got me 500k views. That first idea that I thought on myself, that was the first idea that was the first video that got 500k views. Just came when I read the script and I thought with the techniques with which others have got views. Then the idea came to me. I tried to execute the best in the mid journey and the results just came. It's hardest at the beginning. Like you do not have the skills, you do not have the pattern recognition that someone who is doing it for years has developed. You have not seen thousands of thumbnails. You have not seen tens of thousands of thumbnails. You have not made thousands of thumbnails, so you do not understand the game yet. It's hardest at the beginning and it gets easier along the way. You get stronger along the way. The return per unit time increases. You do not need to after a point in time, you know what's going to work. You know what is the process that you will follow if things are not working. You know that because you have done that. You have the evidence of that, and you know in a conscious mind, you have the pattern recognition of it. So in return per unit time increases. Initially, you have to research a lot. You have to find out real inspirations. After a point in time, you just read the script, what it's gonna deliver, and you just get it. If you feel I feel you start to become lucky at finding better images, making better generations, and getting better ideas as you do more and more. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, the lucky. I think it was Mahendra Singh Dhoni who said the one of the best cricketers ever, who won my country, India, with the World Cup. I think he is the one who said that it's about magic, that so much work that he puts in that feels magic to people. It's just work and consistency that feels like magic. I think it was also Michelangelo said, if you knew how much work I put into my art, you will not say that it is an art. Or if it was something like this, if you knew how much work I put into my art, you will not say it's extraordinary at all. Like, that's the thing. The more you practice, the luckier you get. Gary Player. It's just a skill. And if it's a skill, it can be taught. And if it can be taught, it can be learned. This is the mindset frame that helps me with every single thing in my life. My work, my designs, my every area of life. It's just a skill. Everything in life can be broken down in just a skill. Whether you need to talk to the girl, whether you need to design that thing, whether you need to reach out to a client, whether you need to create your portfolio, whether you need to get leads, whether you need to find the soulmate, get the love of your life, whether you need to do gym, whether you need to play sports, whatever it is, it's just a skill. And if it's a skill, it can be taught. And if something can be taught, it can be learned. And we can learn it. And if you like it, I have a request. Please subscribe and keep watching, of course. I will talk about YouTube thumbnails here and share my designs and my experience. But more importantly, I want to bring in guests and learn from them, because learning is what that matters. And for that, I will need your support and I promise I will pay it back sincerely. Thank you. It was brought to you by CDR Design, the YouTube thumbnail game podcast.